Hi everyone, I hope everyone is doing well. I miss you. I wanted today to do a really slow flow to help us connect to our breath. And so we'll be holding the postures a little bit longer than typical and just really give us a chance to deepen into each pose. Just a great way to slow things down. I know there's a lot of heightened energy, maybe some anxiety happening right now. So I hope this helps. So we'll begin in our child's pose. You can start with your knees either together or mat width apart. Just bring your arms out in front of you, forehead to the mat. Relax your shoulders, relax your elbows to the mat. Just gently close your eyes. And just start to feel your body let go and relax. As you start to connect to your breath, just notice, take inventory of anything that's going on. Give yourself permission here to start to let go. Just knowing that this time on your mat is for you. You deserve to be here. You deserve this time. We all deserve just to slow it down a little bit. So really starting to notice your breath in and your breath out. And as you bring this awareness, allow it to deepen. So notice if you're taking short, shallow breaths into your chest. Can you start to send your breath to the bottom of the lungs? Feeling your shoulders pull away from your ears. Maybe even starting to feel some length and expansion through your lower back. Releasing any grip you have in your fingers or hands or your jaw. And just take this time, take this moment right here for you. Breathing in and breathing out. Right now, that's all we need to do. Take 3 more breaths, as deep as you need to. Take the time. Just notice how it feels, how it affects your body. And we'll take one more really big breath. And as you exhale, gently start to blink your eyes open as you press up into a tabletop position. Stacking shoulders over the wrists, hips over your knees. Neutral spine to begin. Palms are pressing firmly into the mat. Back of the neck stays really long. As you inhale, your chest pulls through your shoulders as your tailbone tilts towards the sky, belly drops, gaze just in front of you. Slowly, gently hug your belly in as you round your spine one vertebra at a time, tucking your chin slightly to your chest. Try not to force or grip anything. Breathe in, pulling your heart through your cow pose, taking it as slow as you need to here. Exhale, round the spine, hug your belly in. Just noticing each movement between each pose. Inhale as you pull through. And exhale. Breathe out. Option to stay here in your cat. I like to sway my hips side to side, maybe even sway my head side to side just to stretch out the side body. Bring a little more motion into the side body. Option also to come back almost like you're coming into a child's pose, or maybe start to bring your hands forward, coming into a deeper cow pose as you pull your heart through. Maybe your heels lift towards your head. So just notice what feels good for you here. Take your time in finding what that is. Maybe you start to circle it out, circling the hips. Just do what feels really good right now, right here. If you've taken the hip circles, when you're ready, go ahead and take them the opposite direction. Take a few more moments here, or movements here with our breath. Extending, leading with your heart as you breathe in, pressing your palms into the mat as you feel the round in your spine. Exhaling. We'll come back to our neutral tabletop position. Just take a breath here. Take a moment to find your tabletop. Start to tuck your toes. When you're ready, lift your hips, downward facing dog. We'll just keep it very soft here, so bend into your knees, finding what feels good. Movement, swaying it side to side, pedaling it out side to side, or maybe stillness feels really good. Just take it slow, take it easy. We'll take some time as we start to open our body, connect our breath to our body. Really planting your palms into the mat. You want a solid foundation in each pose. As you feel your shoulders pull away from the ears, lengthening through the spine. Again, big bend in the knees to begin, just soft knees, gently opening the back of the legs. Take a couple more breaths in your down dog, your variation. Maybe coming up on your toes and then dropping your heels. And when you feel ready, when you've started to open and take the time you need, coming back to your neutral down dog, take a breath in, look forward. As you exhale, your right foot steps through between your hands, back knee drops. Low lunge, Anjaneyasana. Inhales, your arms sweep overhead. Big breath out as you cactus your arms, lift your heart, gaze up. Feeling the opening in the left hip flexor, breathe in. Arms reach overhead as you exhale. Left fingertips or hand plants as you twist open just from your spine. Try not to bring your hips with you here. Maybe gazing up towards your right thumb. Big breath in. As you exhale, right hand meets the mat. Step back, downward facing dog. Get here however you need to. Your inhale brings you forward to your plank pose, stacking your shoulders over the wrists, extending through the heels all the way to the crown of your head. Engage your core. Breathe out. Drop your knees. Hug your elbows in as you lower to the mat. Untuck your toes. Inhale, low cobra. Shoulders back. Lead with your heart. And breathe out, tuck your toes, come to your knees, press back, downward facing dog. Breathe here. On your next inhale, look forward. As you exhale, your left foot steps forward. Back knee drops, low lunge. Breathe in, sweeping your arms slowly overhead. And breathe out as you cactus and open your heart, feeling the extension and expansion through your right hip crease, keeping your belly engaged. Breathe in as your arms reach overhead as you exhale. Right fingertips or palm meets the mat. Twist your chest open towards the left. Try not to move your hips as you twist. Maybe gazing up. Take one more big breath. Feel the expansion through the spine and the crown of the head. Breathe out. Left hand plants. Step back, down dog. Slowly, slowly. Inhale, plank. Exhale, drop your knees, lower down, making sure you hug your elbows in as you lower. Breathe in for your low cobra. Lighten the hands here. Shoulders back. Breathe out, tuck your toes. Maybe first come to your knees, then you press back, downward facing dog. Breathe here, slow it down. Taking as much time as you need in each pose. Find your breath. Allow it to be your anchor here as we move. On your breath in, gaze forward. As you exhale, just slowly tiptoe your way to the front of the mat. Coming into our wide-legged forward fold or ragdoll pose. Soften the knees so we can extend our spine and the crown of the head towards the mat. Feeling release, surrender here. Shaking your head yes and no, side to side. You can grab opposite elbows if you'd like. So I recently took a class where the instructor said that this can be a hard pose for us to surrender to, which I've never thought about before. So if that's the case for you, see if there's just somewhere that you can maybe just a little bit more reach a point of surrender. Trusting that the pose and your breath will bring you where you need to go. Feel the crown of the head reaching towards the mat. Spine is really long. Keeping this softness in the knees. Again, maybe you find some movement, sway side to side, or maybe you stay still. Grabbing opposite elbows if you'd like at any point. Make this your pose. Do what feels good. Just take the time to find what works for you. No need to hurry. When you feel ready, if you have the arms, release the grip. Big bend in the knees as you slowly, gently, one vertebra at a time, roll up to standing. Just be aware we were in this pose for a while. You may feel just a little bit of dizziness as we come up. So just take your time as we rise. Starting to draw your shoulders towards your ears and then down the back. So just take a few shoulder rolls here as we find our standing posture. Do one more. Breathe in, lead with your heart, and exhale, release. Bringing your big toes together, heels come slightly apart. We'll come into our sun A's, continuing to move slow. So go at your pace. Tadasana pose. 4 corners of the feet are planted in the mat. Feel the energy rising from your feet all the way through to the crown of your head. Shoulders are away from the ears, gaze forward. Big breath in as your arms sweep overhead. Big breath out as you forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. You can bring your fingertips either to your shins to start or the mat. So feel the extension through your spine. Crown of the head is reaching tall. As you breathe out, plant your hands. Step back to your plank pose. Come forward on your tiptoes. Lower chaturanga. Elbows are hugging in. Flip to the tops of your feet for your upward facing dog. Hips are lifted, shoulders back. Your center, your core pulls you back. Tailbone lifts, downward facing dog. Find your foundation. Palms planted in the mat. Feet are hip width distance. Take as much of a bend in your knees as you need to here, as long as you're creating space through your spine and your tailbone. Most importantly, find your breath. Take one more breath. On your next inhale, gaze forward. As you exhale, step to the top of the mat. So you can take a few steps to get there if you need to. Breathe in, halfway lift. Breathe out, fold. Inhale, press down through your feet to bring the energy overhead. Arms reach up. Exhale, hands come to your heart. Samastitihi. Inhale, reach your arms overhead. Slowly like honey. Exhale, hinge from the hips, forward fold. Slight bend in the knees may help on your way down. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana, your variation. Breathe out, plant your hands, step, option to float back if you'd like, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. So again, notice here if you need to maybe widen your downward facing dog or shorten it. Take the time here to play with what works best for you. Take one more big breath. On your next inhale, gaze forward. Your exhale gently brings you to the top of the mat. Big breath in, halfway lift. Long spine, breathe out, forward fold. Inhale, arms reach overhead. Exhale, hands come to your heart. Inhale, arms reach. Now as we exhale, swan dive. So allow your arms to sweep out to the sides as you forward fold. Lead with your heart. Big breath in, long spine. Exhale, plant your hands. Step, hop back, lower chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Maybe you stay with cobra. My stomach is making noises. Breathe out, downward facing dog. Inhale. And exhale, making any adjustments that you need, or maybe you found your down dog pose for today that works today. Take one more big breath. And then on your next inhale, gaze forward. As you exhale, step to the top, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Breathe out as you fold. Inhale, arms reach overhead. Maybe a slight bend in the knees as you come up. And breathe out, your hands come to your heart. So those are our traditional sun salutation A. Meant to warm the body, salute the sun. Find your breath here. And we'll continue to flow slowly. So when you're ready, again at the top of the mat, Tadasana pose, hands at your heart. As you inhale, arms sweep overhead. Sit your hips like you're coming back into a chair. Utkatasana, chair pose.
So feel free to move around, find what works. Again, take the time that you need. So in our chair pose, we want to start to bring the weight into our heels so we can slightly maybe even lift our toes, drawing our knees back and our hips come low, shoulders come back. Always an option here to cactus your arms or bring them to your hands to your hips if this feels like a lot of pressure on your shoulders. Breathe in, feeling the extension through your spine. Breathe out as you sit low. One more inhale. As you exhale, straighten your legs, forward fold. Breathe in for your halfway lift. As you exhale, option to move through your flow, option to skip it if you'd like. So lowering chaturanga will meet, if you decide to skip it, right into our extended side angle. So our right foot is stepping forward, left foot plants from our center, extended side angle. So feel the energy drawing up. Right arm can rest either on your thigh or reaching towards the mat as your left arm extends towards the sky. And just notice where you've landed, make any adjustments. Being aware of your front knee that stays directly over your ankle. Pressing through the back edge of your left foot. Reach up. Pretend like there's a wall behind you that you can lean on. And then exhale. Left hand plants, back heel lifts. Open up to the right for our twist like we did in the beginning, but our back knee is lifted here. Try not to dump into your left shoulder, so still pressing out, using your entire body in this pose. Breathe. Now, starting to move our feet to the right as well. So our right and left, well, our left toes are already facing that way. Our right toes come with us. You're on the knife edge of each foot. Maybe starting to sink your hips just a little bit down, getting a little bit into the hips here. If this doesn't work for you, just stay with your twist. Breathe. And then coming back to center, freeing your front foot, back heel lifts, straighten into your front leg, lift your right toes. As you forward fold, just stretching into the back of your leg. Keep as much of a bend in either knee as you need to here. Just as long as we're breathing, slowly starting to open the right hamstring. Maybe you bring blocks underneath of your hands or whatever props you have at home to use. Shoulders are back. Slowly coming back, we'll come into our lunge. Drop your back knee. So we're kind of doing what we just did, coming on the knife edge of our front foot. Straighten your right leg as you move. Flex your right foot. Back foot stays where it is. You'll start to bring your hands or your fingertips facing the side of the mat. So really flex into your right toes. So you'll start to feel the stretch on the outside of your right leg, like your right IT band. Spine is long. Maybe you start to slowly forward fold, or maybe you stay where you are. This is always just a good stretch that I love to get the outside of the leg, the IT band that tends to get really tight. So take really long, deep breaths, just doing what works best for you. One more really deep breath, breathing into your hips and your legs. And then as you breathe out, coming back to center. Skandasana to the left. So you'll plant your left foot Your hips move to the left, right toes face the sky, left knee going the same way as your left toes. You can bring your hand to your heart. Again, you may be up here. That's fine too. Use props where you need it. Skandasana. Side lunge, long spine. Now we'll move into our extended side angle facing the back of the mat. So, left toes face the back of the mat. Right foot plants at a 90-degree angle. Left knee over the ankle. Slowly start to draw the energy up using your center, using whatever variation that works for you. Maybe your right arm reaches up as you gaze up. Pressing through the knife edge of your right foot. Again, it's like there's a wall behind you that you're leaning back against, so you're opening your chest, using your whole body in this pose. And as you exhale, right hand plants, back heel lifts, twist open, left arm reaches. Maybe you gaze up. You can try not to bring your hips with you in your twist. So it's from the spine, crown of the head is reaching now towards the back of the mat. Find your breath. And then we'll start to come on the knife edge of each foot like we did on the other side. So both sets of toes are facing the side of the mat. Option to bring your left hand to your hip. Maybe you slowly start to drop your hips, getting a little bit deeper into the stretch. Pressing through your right palm. Option to use a block here under your right arm or your hand, or maybe under your elbow, maybe on your forearm. Breathe wherever you are. Just taking your time, working into each pose. Just notice how it feels. And then gently coming back to center. Back heel lift, straighten your front leg or working towards that as your left toes flex back towards your face. Pull your left hip back so you'll feel the opening starting in the back of your left leg. You can relax your head and your neck. Just notice where you might be gripping or holding tension. Use your breath to take the time to release. And then gently bending into your left knee. Back knee drops, straighten your front legs. So we'll do our IT band stretch on this side. Left toes lift and face the side of the mat, and your fingertips are on the side of the mat or your hands. Flexing into your left toes so you can start to feel the opening through the outside of your left leg. Spine is long, shoulders are back. You breathe. Sending your breath, I like to feel like I'm sending my breath to the area that I'm stretching. So it's like I'm breathing into my hips and my legs. So take your time. When you feel ready, we'll come back to center. Skandasana to the right, side lunge to the right. So your right foot plants, toes facing now the front left corner. Knee goes the same way as your left toes lift. Maybe your hands come to your heart. And then keep going towards the front of the mat. Step it forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold deep. Inhale, chair pose, your hips start to lower as you reach your arms overhead. Sit low as you breathe out. Take your time finding your variation and your foundation. One more breath, and then exhale. Straighten your legs, bring your hands to your heart. Find your breath. Option to close your eyes for a moment. Just noticing the effects of really holding and breathing and slowing down each pose. It's not always the easiest, but it's nice to do sometimes. We'll continue. When you're ready, as you breathe in, chair pose, arms reach up, hips come low, tailbone is long, shoulders back. Weight in the heels. Now starting to draw the weight into your right foot with control. Your left foot steps back, high lunge. Take your time, front knee over the ankle. Feeling the expansion through your left hip flexor as you open up, breathe out, big, slow cactus arms here like we did in the beginning. Lead with your heart. Use your center to keep your balance. Big breath in to reach back up. Exhale, warrior two. Back heel plants. Adjust where you need to. So we tend to, or it's helpful or more beneficial in the pose to have a wider stance in our warrior two than we would in our lunge or warrior one. So take your time in adjusting. Front heel intersects the back arch. Front knee directly over the ankle. Fingertips reach long, shoulders back, crown of the head reaching tall. Maybe again you start to find some just subtle movement. You don't need to completely stay still. Just move with your breath. Coming gently in and out of the pose as you breathe. Straightening into your right leg. Right toes face the side of the mat. Hands come to your heart. Long spine as you forward fold, wide-legged forward fold. So your toes are gently turning in this pose, just a little bit here. Option if you'd like, you can start to bend into one knee, or maybe just start to twist your chest to one knee, and then go the opposite direction, doing that twice on each side. Just do what feels good in your own time, in your own breath. And when you've done each side twice, coming back, facing the front of the mat, hop it forward, forward fold. Breathe in, halfway lift. Breathe out, fold. Inhale, chair pose. Sit your hips low as you reach your arms overhead. Chair, shoulders back. Now starting to draw the weight into your left foot. With control, step your right foot back. High lunge. Feet are on railroad tracks rather than a tightrope. Breathing into the expansion of the front right hip. Inhale, reach up as you exhale. Cactus your arms, lift your heart. Gaze up. Slight back bend maybe. Inhale. Arms reach as you exhale, warrior two. Find what works for you in this pose. Find your breath. Use this as your anchor in each pose.
How are you feeling? I hope everyone's feeling good. Warrior two, and now straighten your front leg, left toes face the side of the mat. Hands at your heart, hinge forward, forward fold. Wide-legged forward fold. So option on this side, you can start to walk your fingertips or your hands behind you, reaching behind you as the crown of the head maybe starts to reach towards the mat. You can shake out your head, yes and no. Let's release any tension in your neck or your shoulders. Breathing. Coming back to center, walk it forward. Hop your back foot forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose. Stay as you breathe out. Find your breath. Your inhales and your exhales can lead you through each pose, especially when it starts to get hard. And then straighten your legs. Hands can come to your heart. Inhale and exhale. Take one more breath here on your own. Just take a moment to come back. On your next breath in, arms reach overhead. As you exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step or float back, option to move through vinyasa, or skip it, we'll meet in downward facing dog. Shoulders back as you open your chest. And your core pulls you back, downward facing dog. Drop your knees to the mat. We'll come lying down on our stomach. Bring your arms by your sides. You can start with your left ear to the mat. Just feeling the support of the mat and earth underneath of you. Bring your forehead to center. We'll take bow pose. So bending into your knees, reach back, grabbing either the outside of your feet. You may just reach towards them or grab your pants. Just take what you can here and breathe out all your air. And as you inhale, kick into your feet, your hands. As you lift your chest, pulling up into your bow pose. So be aware of where your knees are, keeping them in line with your hips. So you're slightly engaging the glutes, shoulders back. Maybe you go a little bit higher as you breathe in. One more breath, and then slowly, one vertebra at a time, release. Drop your right ear to the mat and just sway your feet side to side. Just taking a couple more. Sway side to side with your feet. And then release your legs long. We'll flip over to our back. So when you're lying on your back, just feel your shoulders drop into the mat, pulling them away from your ears. As you breathe in, right leg starts to draw in for a hamstring stretch. So you can grab the back of your leg. This is a good place to use a strap around the sole of your foot or the right below your toes if you have one at home. Feeling your shoulders relax into the mat. I always like to roll out my ankle a couple of times or stretch out my toes. Just gently opening the back of the right leg. You can always find a slight bend in your right knee if you need it. Take one more breath. And then starting to draw our right knee into our right armpit, taking half happy baby. So you can grab either the outside of your right foot, or maybe you just grab your leg. Flexing your toes towards your face. Draw your knee in towards your armpit as you extend your left leg down the mat. Breathing into your hip. You can, again, always option to find movement, swaying side to side. Or an option to find stillness. Take about 2 more breaths. Continuing to bend into your right knee, hugging it in towards your chest. Big breath in as you exhale. Drop your knee to the left, finding your twist. You can bring your right arm either out to a T or cactus. Taking your time to settle in. Softening the body. Just notice if there's anything you can release as you breathe out. Your next inhale, you draw your knee back to center. Give yourself a little hug. And exhale as you release it long. So take the time to square out your hips or move around to find a solid foundation. And we'll do the other side. Left leg draws in for a hamstring stretch. Just grabbing onto whatever you can. Feeling your shoulders really just melt into the mat. Option to roll out your ankle, spread out your toes. So in each pose, also just being aware of any tension or anywhere we might be gripping. Maybe through the neck or the shoulders or jaw. Just creating space there. As we breathe into opening the back of our leg, our left hamstring. And starting to bend into the left knee, finding our half happy baby. Grabbing the outside of your left foot or toe or leg, flexing your left toes back towards you as you draw your knee in, right leg long down the mat. Maybe you start to sway side to side. Still relaxing your shoulders. And then coming back to center, bending into your left knee, hug it in towards your chest. As you exhale, dropping it to the right for your twist. Left arm can either extend long or come to a cactus arm. Left shoulder melting into the mat. So in each pose, it doesn't have to be completely still. So again, maybe you find some slight movement with your breath. Just working into the pose a little bit deeper each time, each breath. Taking about 3 more breaths on this side. Just noticing if your mind has wandered. Can you come back to this moment? One more really deep breath. As you inhale, coming back to center, extend both of your legs long down the mat. Take this time, if there's any other pose you'd like to come into, using this time to come there now, or if you're ready to slow it down into our final resting pose, hugging both knees in towards your chest, drawing your eyes, your forehead in towards your knees, wrapping your arms around your shins. Give yourself a big squeeze here. And as you exhale, you release everything long into your Shavasana, palms facing the sky, shoulders pulling away and melting into the mat, pulling away from the ears, feet fall out to the sides. Just feeling the support of the earth underneath of you. Give yourself permission to fully surrender, letting go of the body and the breath. We'll stay here in our Shavasana. Just know and trust that I'll be here to bring us out when we're ready. Shavasana. When you feel ready, bring some movement through your fingertips and your toes. Slowly deepening your breath. You can roll out your ankles or your wrists. And in your own time, drawing your knees into your chest. And rolling over to your right side. Take a breath here and really seal in your practice. Just noticing what the effects of your practice are. In your own time, using your left hand, pressing up to a comfortable seat. Keeping your eyes soft or closed. Drawing your hands into your heart. Take a big breath in and exhale as you slightly bow your head. I always want to take a moment to honor your practice and the gift of your breath and your body and how you're able to move. And just know that we always have the ability to come back here. So just slow things down. I hope you all enjoyed today's practice. It's always my honor to lead you. Namaste.